Hey, good morning, bee friends. This morning I need to make up some sugar syrup for the bees, and I'm going to do it a little different than I did a week or so ago. Just been giving them one-on-one sugar water. So we need to boost it up a little bit, and I've been doing some research, checking videos, and it's my first year beekeeping, so I want to make sure this fall that I'm going to give them the most that they need for their beehives for the winter. So after doing my research, I found that we can give them, to boost the brood, because we're still in September, we need to give them a boost for their brood so they can get those new bees out by October. So we're going to I'm going to switch it over now from just straight sugar syrup to a little bit more boost. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to show you today what I'm going to do. I only have 2 hives that I need to feed. So today we're going to do a mixture of sugar water, but we will be adding Honey Bee Healthy, which is, it's a plant-based, and it's loaded with vitamins and minerals, and it's very vital that your bees get that so they can thrive. Also, I found that you can add Amino Bee Booster, which has 20 amino acids for your bees. You can add this along with the Honey Bee Healthy. This helps them during the winter to get, all the nutrients and amino boosters that they need during the winter when they're in there and they're in their cluster. So, and then we're going to add a little bit of bee pollen or bee powder, whatever you want to call that. But I put mine in a little Ziploc, take some out, and then I used to use it to make pollen patties, but today we're going to make this sugar syrup blend. So this is what you'll need. You'll need your jar and a pitcher, and you'll need some either hot tap water, or you can just put some on your kettle on the stove, and just doesn't have to boil, just enough to get it warm enough to dissolve the sugar mixture as we make it. So I'm going to make enough for my 2 hives. I know some people use the jar, and they put that little that lid on there, and they turn it upside down and put it on the outside of the hive. I do not do that. I feed mine from inside to help prevent robbing, even though I only have 2 hives. I have a top feeder that I use, and it's working very well. So what I'll do, we'll get it all mixed. I'll put it in this pitcher, and then I'll take it down later, and we'll just pour what they need in each hive. I'll split it in half. And that way they'll have their Honey Bee Healthy and their Amino Boosters, and they'll have some little bit of pollen. Goldenrod is going strong right now. So, but this is just to help them inside. We can get them fed, and I'll feed them this until it's almost time to switch over to the candy boards, which, is a little ways off, let's hope. So, okay, so let's get started. We're going to need the kettle, so let me get the kettle. And like I said, it's just hot water. You can use your tap if you want. But right now we need to get your, you need a good spoon or, something to stir. So to do half and half, which is 1-on-1 for the bees, we're going to do 1 full, because I'm doing two hives. So I'm going to fill this completely with sugar. And any sugar will do. Store-bought. Doesn't have to be Domino. It can be, you know, the dollar store brand. They don't care. They just want sugar. Okay. I always like to do the sugar before the water, you know. Right? So take your pitcher, pour your sugar in, give it a good tap, get all that sugar out. Then we're going to go ahead and fill our jar with the same. I'm going to grab my towel because it's a little warm. And then we're going to pour that right into our pitcher. I did put mine on the stove, my kettle, so it's a little bit warmer than tap water, so, but not steaming hot. We're going to pour that in there. Okay, you want to take your spoon now and we're going to stir that so this right here should be enough for one beehive, one top feeder. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and dissolve that. And it's, you know, pretty well, that's the main thing, is to get it really mixed in. Now I'm going to do this 2 times, so because we want to we're going to add the bee pollen or bee powder, whatever you want to call it. That's what I call it, bee powder. We'll take a tablespoon. Give yourself a good heaping tablespoon. 2 of them. There we go. We'll get that mixed in. And then as we get that dissolved, that looks awesome. The main thing is that we want to get the bees, you know, I want my this will be my first winter going through the winter with my bees, and I just want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to give my bees all the nutrients and minerals and vitamins that they need besides just sugar water or sugar patties. You know, winter's fine, but, you know, they need all this now. From what I've done my research, and other beekeepers have really helped educate us new beekeepers, and it really does help when we're trying to figure out what to do for our bees. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add, it says on here, for every quart we can add a teaspoon. So what I'm going to do is just take a little capful. There you go. And we're going to leave that because I'm going to need it again. Now your Honeybee Healthy, I've been using it to put in the sugar water. So once you open this one, you have to keep it refrigerated, it says. Does not say that for the amino booster, so we probably won't have to keep that in the refrigerator. So we're going to give this one a little bit of Honeybee Healthy. can wipe those off when we're done. We're going to get that dissolved in there. Oh, that looks so nice. Look at that. I think they're really going to enjoy this later when we get down there. And see, it's all dissolved. And we just want to give it a good shake and stir. Keep stirring. And what I'll do is I'll just pour this on into the top feeder where I normally would just put the sugar water, and let them, each hive, enjoy it without being robbed, because they will rob out each other's hive if they do that. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I'm going to repeat the process because I want to do 2 hives. So we're going to, while this is settling, I'm going to go ahead and add another container of sugar. And you would just do this process forever how many hives you have. So it's 1-on-1 in the fall. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this sugar to this already dissolved. Makes it easier trying to dissolve it rather than putting it all in there and making it so thick. Give that a good smack. Now we're going to take the tea kettle and fill that back up because my water is still pretty warm. Ooh, just enough. Awesome. Okay, this is probably not that hot as it was. And I'm just going to swish that around to get the rest of that sugar that was in there. There we go. Then we're going to continue to stir. The main thing is to keep stirring. And they say what this does is help build brood, help stimulate the queen to continue to lay, and then once she's done laying, it takes 21 days. So if we're like at the 20th of September right now, so by, like the middle of October, she could be laying out those winter bees. So that's what we want. Okay, we're going to add in a little bit more pollen because we added to that. So we want 2 more tablespoons of pollen powder. Now we want to get that all stirred in. It's making it a pretty pumpkin color for fall, isn't it? What a beautiful color it is. It doesn't have a bad smell at all. Actually, it smells pretty good. I guess it has to in order to attract the bees. Okay, I'm just mashing it up a little because it's in kind of like clumps around the side. That's why you want to make sure your water is, pretty warm to get it to dissolve easier. It doesn't have to be boiling, because then you got to wait till, for that to cool down if you have it too hot. So we're going to go ahead and get this made. And when it gets warmer this morning, we'll go down to the hive. I'll have it already made, and I can give them their treat. Okay, Immuno Booster. And Honey Bee Healthy. Yummy. I think they'll enjoy this more than the syrup, just sugar syrup. So this is how I'm going to feed them from now until, you know, it's time when the weather changes and it starts getting cooler. And then we'll just switch back to, after October, you know, you don't want to boost the brood up anymore. So this will be good until now, until like the middle of October. I'll do this to give her that boost and stimulate her. And we'll do this for a few weeks, and then we'll just switch back as long as the weather stays cool and not go into any type of freezing. Below, we don't want to get below, you know, the 50, so before we have to switch over. Okay, this looks pretty well diluted and dissolved. So we can just set this to the side now, and we have our sugar blend for the bees. And like I said, we'll give half to each hive. So we'll see how this goes. I hope you'll share with other beekeepers. This is how they can make their blend for in the fall if they do it between September and early October. Just keep giving it to them. It's a 1-on-1 sugar, 2 tablespoons of pollen per quart, 1 teaspoon per amino booster, and 1 teaspoon of Honey Bee Healthy. Okay, well, we hope you enjoyed it, and we'll get down to the hive and we'll be able to show you, hopefully. We'll probably do that in a separate video. But until then, happy beekeeping, and get those bees fed. We'll see you later. God bless.